here, man. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide.
And I want y'all to see, I know a lot of people don't pay attention to the details, but look through his shades. I'm going to take it back a little bit. And I see that on his shades. If you pay attention to, let me make that bigger. If you pay attention to his shades here, you can see multiple people are there. So even though that they're only interviewing Warren, there's other people there, and you can see it through the shades. So there's other people actually present while they're having this interview. So I would probably say there's going to probably be other interviews that come out later as well. So here we go.
I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide. I just don't want you.
And I want y'all to think about this too. I know a lot of people don't like Officer Tatum. A lot of people don't like his opinions, his thought process. A lot of people feel like he always punching down on certain communities. But you have to ask yourself this: what does he have to gain from this? What does he have to gain? For more people that look like him to hate him? What does he truly have to gain for gaining this information and just doing a more thorough investigation?
You guys to end up in a situation where your story never gets heard. Right here is where Nolan and probably 20 other kids got on the boat. So it's not just Nolan and 3 other kids. That was a lie. That was a myth. I'm going to prove that. Right here is where the kids were docked.
And we know that that's the one thing I am disagreeing with Officer Tatum. Nobody ever said they were the only ones out there. Just because the picture showed them on the boat doesn't mean they were the only 3 out there. I think everybody knows that. So I will let Officer Tatum know you're over exaggerating. Everybody knows that it was multiple people on Horn Island that day.
And we're going to show you a video that coincides. I'm going to walk at the exact angle that the video is being broadcast from, so you know that I'm exactly where I say I am. But the boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat, and they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 3.
So as you see here, they actually have footage, which I'm very shocked that they haven't dropped this footage out on the internet. If they have, let me know, Rain. I know you've been kind of following this pretty close as well. But this is footage of them getting on the boat. I don't know if this footage has actually been released, but this is footage of the kids actually getting on the boat outside. So at the port. So here we go.
And 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats. And some of the boys that they're accusing weren't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so right now, here's the angle that you're going to see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on.
Now look at this, y'all. This is the footage that they're not releasing to everybody. Think about this, y'all. Think about this. Look at this. Like, why wouldn't we expect this type of investigation work from people who get paid to do it? Am I wrong, right? Why wouldn't we expect this type of footage from people that we expect to be doing this because they make money to do this? Like, look at that footage. Look how clear that camera is. Why haven't Ben Crump and them talked about this footage? Why haven't they talked about this? Why are we being so focused on autopsies? We're not medical examiners. And we're not detectives, but we'll love to see footage, right? Anytime there was a other case, Carmelo Anthony, everybody wanted to see video footage. Everybody wanted to see it. It's right here.
On the boats. So therefore it debunks very clear.
That's Nolan right there, y'all. That's Nolan Wells in a shirt right there. That's him. Why wouldn't this footage be released? Why haven't y'all seen this yet? Why haven't y'all seen this? Do y'all even care? Is it important to you? Do you really want answers? And this is why I always ask people, like, what are we really seeking? What do people really want?
Really, that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island. All right, you guys, sorry about the sunglasses. It's very bright out here, and I never wear sunglasses, but we're at Horn Island in almost the exact same position where the boys were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here, but I want you guys to put this in your mind, what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island.
And you were right, Rain. It is that one island
Where nobody's at. Obviously, this is a Monday, and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so...
And let me ask you this. Why is Horn Island even a place where people could continue to go? Shouldn't that still be considered a crime scene? Think about that. We don't know what else is out there evidence-wise. The investigation is not over. This is going to go in front of a grand jury. Shouldn't it still be a area that's closed off? If we feel that a possible incident happened here at this Horn Island, would we want to possibly have someone else have to experience this? Rain said thousands of people, but nobody saw anything. We haven't heard anybody say. We'll see. I think if anything, Rain, they're going to come out doing the grand jury for sure.
This wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and for what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man. Get on the boat. Get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was going to stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat. He didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. And so for them to come out and claim these lies, won't take the time to come to Horn Island, won't take the trip out here to figure out what happened, won't talk to anybody, pushing an agenda is wrong. And that's the reason why I came out here. I wanted to see for myself, what did this look like? What could have happened?
I don't really know what it looks like, what it really shows. But I think the footage that he showed initially does show, you know, Nolan getting on the boat with a bunch of people, not just the 3. With that being said, I don't think going out to Horn Island, outside of giving your own self a better perspective, if it's an island and a bunch of people have boats, it's just a bunch of bodies of water with boats. We see it every day in Florida if you go visit Florida on the beach. So I don't know what he's really saying about that part. I'm not here just to agree with everything that Officer Tatum says. But with that being said, I think those other footage points of like him getting on the boat and things of that nature, why not have that stuff already released?
You know, does the stories line up based on what I've seen and what I've heard from people that live here that were involved in this situation? This is where the lie started. People were putting out on social media, knowing that they're lying, that this is what it was like on the day that Nolan and his friends came out here to Horn Island. And if it was 4 or 5 people and they came out here and Nolan was with them and maybe it was a few people out here like it is today, and Nolan came up missing, then maybe it would be suspicious. But they didn't take the time to give context to the people because they're evil and they're liars. So if it was like that right now, when the situation happened, I can see how people had a concern. But you got to replay this moment with thousands of people here.
So he's saying it different, Rain. He's thinking that if it was an isolated incident with less people, somebody would have seen it. With so many people being around, he feels like people were distracted. How do you feel about that?
If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. And so that's pretty much why I want to come here and show you guys. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat-out lie. Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, you know, where the island drops off and how the island works. But, you know, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July. You know, that's where people come out to celebrate. And, I mean,
Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, you know, where the island drops off and how the island works. But you know, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July. You know, that's where people come out to celebrate. And I mean, if you fill the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep, and then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean, we weren't even a quarter mile out the island, and when we were leaving, and I mean, it was 30 foot of water. So I mean, we're walking towards the east right now, but if you walk down to the west, that's where the west tip of the island is, and that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want to, because the way you articulate it, I just walk in the water with my pants, they're wet, and you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water, it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is that typical for people to have their phones, or?
No, I mean, people come out here, especially on the 4th and, you know, Memorial Day, like, you know, days like that, they come out here to celebrate, and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water, and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, you know, if you're sitting on a pond, and no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, you know, it's to take a quick picture. But most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were on the boat. I mean, and, you know, saltwater, if you drop your phone in saltwater, most of the time you're not going to get it back. I mean, you know, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see, the visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, you know, like no one has their phone though, usually. I mean, unless you're crazy, I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand. They've been walking around Horn Island, you know.
How many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone when y'all left, or I mean, other people have phones on the boat?
Absolutely not. Like there was at least, well, I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. I mean, to get on the boat with Wyatt because we were having, you know, boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console. I mean, everywhere. Like, I mean, there was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, you know, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, you know, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, you know? And that's the way it is around here. You know, you don't take your phone and walk.
And do you hear that? Because I think it's very important. Like these things will be used to, like, right? They're going to go to a grand jury. So this interview by Officer Tatum will be used at some form of like evidence or something. And he's making it very clear about the drinking, the alcohol, how people act. Let's say there was some foul play. They're dotting their I's and crossing their T's at this point. While we're fighting about autopsies, they're literally dotting their I's and crossing their T's.
Around the island. You know, there's plenty of phones on the boat and, you know, spread out between the 3 boats that we had. And I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our 3 boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat. You know, a lot of girls like to take pictures, you know, in the water. And so do guys, but, you know, girls want to take pictures in the water. Half a second, you might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else. But as soon as I get back in the boat, I'm putting my phone up and I'm getting back in the water and I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's just common sense, man. And describe to me what the day was like. I saw a video online. How hectic was it out here? I mean, right now it's barren. There's not a lot of people out here. But clearly that's not what it was on the 4th of July. So, like, how dense was it with people here?
Well, I mean, you look at all the videos, you know, they're spread out online. And a lot of them, you know, you can't believe what you see all the time online. You know that better than anybody. But, I mean, there was boats lined up all the way down the island. And there was rows. There's the first row, there's the second row. We were in the 3rd row.
So this right here is the view of Horn Island. Look at this view, guys. This is the view of Horn Island from an iPhone Max too. At that, the picture somebody took when they were up in the plane, or maybe that came from one of the people who were searching. But look at how many boats were around Horn Island, and you can see where it drops off. And some of that looks like, I don't know if that'll be like jet skis or something of that nature, the little things we're seeing. But just look at this. Look at these images that they're providing. Have any of you guys seen any of these images? Rain said, why didn't he ensure Nolan made it back though? As a friend, we arrived together, we leave together. How in good conscience can he not wonder where he was? Well, he's going to talk about it in the video, right? Because we're questioning their friendship, but y'all are not questioning why he didn't listen to his friends and get on the boat as they were leaving. Rain, you never had a friend that was under the influence that was hard to get out of a club? Didn't say you left them, but they were hard to move, or you're sitting there fighting a battle. Just something to think about.
Where it drops off, and then there was even boats in front of us, and this went all the way down towards the east end of the island, and then there was people on the east tip, and we're on the north side now, but there was people on the south side too, lined up all the way down. And if you talk to anybody on the coast about this, they know that. Yeah. I mean, 4th of July, this is the hot spot. This is where people want to be. This is where people want to come out, hang out with their family and friends.
And people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left.
Here you go. Here you go, Rain. They're about to ask the question.
I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat. He didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues, and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch, and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit, and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with, and the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up, because I think it's important for people to have the context of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen.
There's even two things here. They ready to put this on that girl, or that's what's really happening. That's all I'm gonna say. Look at that face. Now I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna sit here and be transparent. I'm looking at that face. Look at that face Warren making. That looked like a face of somebody who felt like they said something very significant. And they either now said, hey, we're going to put this on this girl. If 20 of us say the girl was with him, she going to have to fight this the rest of the time. Because you got to think about it. When it comes to cases, guys, there only takes one person to be accused, and they can ride it out. And now that person who was accused has to fight their fight. She said, did he just say the girl was with us too? Let's see here. Let me go back a little bit.
Decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. The girl was a witness to that too. That's what he said. He said he was only Nolan and the girl on the island, and the girl that he was with was a witness to that too. So they're putting very key words into this too. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, this is why, regardless of what people want to think, if you don't know the system, you can't play the game.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because I think it's important for people to have the context of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen. And the beauty of all of this is that you guys have evidence to prove that, of course, you asked Nolan to come on and different things like that. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate you,
yes, sir,
giving me a rundown of kind of what it was like on that day.
Right.
And hopefully.
And he said they have evidence. So I wonder where that evidence is, right? We just seen multiple footage, multiple videos, multiple things that we haven't been able to see from the Ben Crump team. And now Warren and them are saying that they have evidence that Nolan was on the island, didn't go with the friend, this and that. So we'll see.
People can understand what the truth is and make their own decision on facts.
Right. I mean, based off people, there's not a lot of people that are from the Mississippi Gulf Coast that don't understand Horn Island and don't understand the way boating works. And, boating is a tight-knit community. I like to fish a lot, and, there's, everybody, a lot of people know a lot of people. Everybody knows everybody. I know a lot of fishermen on the Gulf Coast. They know me and my buddies because we like to go in the water all the time. I mean, that's what we do in the summer. And, a lot of people from the Gulf Coast know the truth behind, you don't take your phone out the boat. The little facts. It's a difficult subject. This Horn Island's like 11 miles long, not to be exact, but around 11 miles long. It's not like this is a sliver of an island. It's a quarter mile. It's like a sandbar. No, this goes on to, even if we came around this corner right here, Brandon, we couldn't even see the end of the island.
Oh, really?
It's that long.